Hey, welcome back to The Pulse, your source for gaming news and updates. This week, we've got some interesting news for you. We'll be starting off with some interesting leaks coming out of Konami, the studio behind Metal Gear Solid. We've got some really good news about GTA 6's development, so be sure to stick around for that. Hi-Rez is back in the news this week with more layoffs, and Midnight Society has shut down. We'll wrap up the news for the week with some changes coming out of Steam that will provide some clarity around how you buy early access games. So without further delay, let's get to it. Alright, starting us off, we've got a silent release date of the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake from Konami. The release date will be on August 28th, 2025. If you go to the official game pages on any platform, the release date still shows 2025, but no cemented date. Now, this isn't some rumor. We think it might be one of those under-the-table hush-hush accident scenarios. The new trailer dropped by Konami is what really gave it away. But as I mentioned previously, none of the official sites have actually updated with the actual date, so we're not really sure what's going on there. The MGS3 remake has been in the pipeline for a while, and it's the first major release from a series in a little under 10 years. So if you're a big fan of MGS, don't give up hope. The release is just around the corner. Next up, GTA 6 is back in the news, and it's actually pretty good. In speaking with IGN before the release of their third quarter financial report, Strauss Zelnick confirmed that Take-Two feels good about Rockstar hitting the fall 2025 deadline for release. Now, understand that there is no definitive date for release yet. I suspect when the second trailer drops, we'll see a release date then. If you're a fan of GTA, then when I say I mean borderline starving for a second trailer, you know exactly what I mean. But to curb some expectations, just like any other game in development, there is always the risk of delay. Zelnick says, look, there's always a risk of slippage, and I think as soon as you say words like absolutely, you jinx things. But again, he also feels really good about Rockstar hitting that deadline. Until we get some hard dates, any news that's not about a delay or a cancellation is positive news, and we take those. So Take-Two already had a pretty crazy lineup for this year. We just had the release of Civ 7 from Firaxis, in March WWE 2K25, in the summer Mafia: The Old Country. Now we're adding/confirming GTA 6 in the fall and Borderlands 4 at the end of the year. These are some huge titles and it's going to be nuts, so let's hope everything goes to plan. There are more layoffs happening in the gaming industry and it seems like it's not slowing down. On February 6th, Alpharetta-based Hi-Rez Studios has set in motion a series of layoffs. Game developer originally had a rough count of layoffs by compiling the number of posts people had made regarding being laid off. We have been able to gather other sources and verify that through the filing of State of Georgia, that there will be 69 staff members laid off in 2 rounds, the first happening on April 7th and the second on May 7th. There isn't much information as to who is being laid off, but will affect 3 sub-studios of Hi-Rez. That'll be Titan Forge Games, Evil Mojo Games, and Rally Here Interactive. In a screenshot grabbed from Discord, thanks to Xerto, there is mention that 3 games will halt development. That'll be Smite 1, Paladins, and Rogue Company. These games will still be up and operational, but put in maintenance mode to maintain the current state that it's in. Meaning if you play these games, you should not see any service disruptions. The servers will remain online. Alpharetta-based local news Channel 2 Action News was able to get a statement from Stuart Chisholm, the CEO of Hi-Rez. It reads, over the past 2 years, the video game industry has experienced a historic downturn. Sadly, this has affected our business and our games. Today, we had to let go a number of very talented employees to help ensure we can survive in this climate and continue to serve our loyal game communities. We're working as much as we can to support employees impacted by this necessary move. Hi-Rez had layoffs back in October, which was around 70 staff members, making it around 140 staff members being cut from the studio. As we continue throughout the year, we'll keep you informed of any more major layoffs in the industry. So this next bit of news sits on a bed of controversy and some WTF moments, so we'll just keep it short and simple. Midnight Society, the studio that was co-founded by Dr. Disrespect, has shut down. The studio announced on X that their 55-person team would be disbanding. This comes after Dr. Disrespect's controversy being what defined the studio. Now for those that don't know or don't remember, Midnight Society had ousted Dr. Disrespect hours before his confession of messaging a minor on Twitch. But since then it seems it didn't really matter. Midnight Society has put out a notice asking other studios or people in the gaming industry who are looking for developers to really consider their team members. Steam has just released a new feature that now warns players when an early access game has not been updated recently. In early access games, you'll see a yellow notice that says the last update made by the developer was over X months ago. The information and timeline described by the developers here may no longer be up to date. This is a very handy feature, especially for those early access games that come across your discovery queue. Not all games will have this. It seems to be those games that have been in early access for more than a year or so and haven't really gotten any significant updates. An official statement hasn't been released from Valve, but many suspect it's because there's a huge rise in early access releases that this change was necessary. And that's going to do it for the Pulse. If you found this information in this video useful and informative, hit that like button on your way out. If you want more gaming industry news and updates, hit the subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. See ya.